Hello, my name's Rochelle Robinson. I'm mayor of the city of Douglasville, and I just wanted to talk to the citizens for just a few minutes and to tell you thank you and show my appreciation, let you hear that I appreciate you and all that you all have done during this time of the pandemic and social injustice and unrest in the country and all the things that we've been doing and dealing with in Douglasville these past 6 months since the pandemic has hit with COVID-19. Just want to take this opportunity to say thank you. I know that great inspiration, Emily Post, you know, she gives a time frame where you're supposed to say thank you if you attend an event. I think it's 48 hours. But my mom, Hattie Mae, said it's never too late to say thank you, and people always appreciate it when you say thank you, even if you get the card a month later or so. So I just want to say thank you to the residents and to the employees and the staff at the city of Douglasville. It's just a wonderful community for me to be able to serve in. I appreciate being your mayor and continuing to serve you. I just want to reflect a little bit on these past 6 months and talk about some of the things that I'm thankful for. First of all, the employees. I wanted to say thank you for continuing to serve the people in the city of Douglasville. You have done it with such grace, and you're stellar. And I really appreciate that. You continue to report to work and do your jobs, maintaining positive attitudes, even when facing uncertain things in the city, like furloughs that we had to do at the beginning of the pandemic in April. Of course, we learned about the pandemic mid-March or so, but we did lay off about 34 people. We furloughed them, and so a lot of them were part-time, or there were departments like Parks and Recs that we weren't having a lot of activity. And so some of them were part-time, and in other departments where we had people that weren't essential. And you all have been so gracious, you know, we've been able to bring most of those people back to work, either part-time or full-time, but we appreciate your attitudes. And so I want to thank the great employees and the staff for the city of Douglasville. I want to especially thank the police department and public service, public works. The police department, of course, you all know about the Black Lives Matter and police brutality that has taken place in a lot of the communities all across the country that continue to take place, actually, which is just disheartening. And it breaks my heart because, you know, I'm a mother of a black son, and so it's really scary to me. But our police department, as I've said before, Chief Sparks is just an exceptional man. He's an exceptional man, an exceptional public servant. He has the heart of the people and the heart of God, really, as he serves. I want to congratulate him for getting his master's in divinity. But we thank you, Chief Sparks, for the many, many years that you have been a police officer in the city of Douglasville, and you've risen up and been appointed to be the chief. And I love continuing to appoint you to be the chief of police in the city of Douglasville. We're one with the community, as he always says. The plethora of events that he sponsors and the police department give every year has just been exceptional. Again, it's just amazing at what you all do to try to connect with the community and be service to the community, to protect and serve, as well as upholding the law. So we really appreciate that. I really appreciate that, Chief, and the command staff and all of the police officers in the city of Douglasville. Thank you for your attitude, your posture, as we have had, you know, several rallies and protests and prayer vigils that you all have been very respectful and treat people with dignity. And I really, really thank you for that. So just thank you that you've been doing that. You've done it the entire time, but especially during these times where we've had, you know, as I said, those protests and everything. So thank you for your attitude and your flexibility for public services and public works. Of course, picking up trash, and I thank Mr. Roberts, who is the director of that Maintenance and Sanitation and Public Works Department. He has been exceptional as well. My children know, they say, I feel sorry for Mr. Gregg, because the mayor will call, I'll call him if I see paper or something that's out of place. And he is always so gracious and so kind, and he'll say, I'm on it, Madam Mayor, and he really is. So I really appreciate him and all of the employees and team members in Sanitation Department. And you all had to face, having COVID-19 within your ranks. And thank you for being a team player and going home and being quarantined for those 10 days or so. And I appreciate you all taking extra shifts, the police department and public works and all the city employees working hard around the clock, weekends, evenings, during all this time. So thank you so much. I appreciate the flexibility of us going virtual and socially distancing. And it's been a lot, to uphold the CDC requirements and sanitizing the buildings and having stations where you're washing your hands and sanitizer and all of that. So thank you to the entire staff and the employees of the city of Douglasville. You all are, I would put you up with any city in the country, not just in the state of Georgia, but in the entire country. You've been such a blessing to me, and we all pull together. We're Team Douglasville, regardless of where we work and which departments. My directors are great. And I say my because I take ownership. I know they serve the people, but I really, really appreciate you all and supporting myself in the council. That leads me to the council. I thank my colleagues from the city council. You all have just been a blessing to me. The virtual meetings that we had, you were great. And then we decided to come in person. You were very gracious in doing that as well, spreading out, still running the city and doing the business that we had to do for the citizens. So thank you. Every council member, when I had to do state of emergencies and executive orders, calling council members, you all just said, yes, whatever you need to do, Madam Mayor, to make the city safe. So I really appreciate that. There are councils, not that we always get along, but we are very respectful of each other. There are entities in government that kind of fuss and fight, I guess, and let it be known to the citizens. And so I appreciate the council for not doing that, because it's like a family. And, as there were 4 of us in our family, 2 boys and 2 girls. And of course, family's going to fight, siblings going to fight at home. But my mother always said, and my dad was a quiet storm. He didn't say very much. When he did, it was like E.F. Hutton. Everybody listened. But she said, do whatever in this house, but when you come out, you're a united front, and that you all are family. And that's how the council has been. So I appreciate Mayor Pro Tem Terry Miller, Councilmember LaShawn Bird-Danley, Councilmember Nicole Miller, Councilmember Mark Adams, Councilmember Chris Watts, the coach, Councilmember Mr. Estes, Howard Estes, and Councilmember Samuel Davis. Thank you all so much for being a blessing and for working as a team for the good of the community and for the city of Douglasville. Such a peace to have you all in conjunction, that we all work together. We're one team and we're one city, and I really appreciate your attitude. And now it brings me to the citizens. Thank you so much for your support and your grace. You've made being a legislator, setting policy, a blessing, and being able to continue being your mayor. It's been such a blessing. I'm not campaigning because I won my race last year, 2019, without any opposition. And that says a lot, that the citizens, that you all trust me enough to give me another opportunity to continue to serve. So that just speaks volumes. I really, really appreciate that. You don't know from the bottom of my heart how much that means to me and my family to have your support. And so citizens, thank you for making it easy for me to be mayor, even during this pandemic and the unrest and all the things that we had to go through, and not having one of the little things is not having for us to be able to pick up your trash that time. We didn't get very many calls, but we did get some calls and emails, and you all were very gracious when we explained to you about having COVID in the department, and we wanted to be very safe, and out of the abundance of caution that we asked our employees to quarantine, and that we were still trying to pick up the trash, and we were able to get the retail and business establishments, but not the residential. So thank you for the majority of the citizens that didn't say anything, and even those who did, we know that you're out there, and I would have a question too. So we appreciate the feedback, but thank you for being so gracious. We are still working on recycling to get that back and up and running. But your peaceful and positive attitude during this time of unrest in this country has been a blessing to me, and it's been a great blessing to the police department as well. So I just want to thank you. I want to thank you for being the best citizens ever. We continue to show that we care in the city. We have this new campaign, Take Care Douglasville. We have masks at the Welcome Center. We have buttons that say I can see your smile through your mask. So you can come and pick those masks up and pick up buttons and signs to go in your yard. So we appreciate that. We have pedal pushers for the bike rental, mobile playgrounds, all kinds of things that we hope that you have been taking advantage of. And oh my gosh, the communications department, led by Jason Post. I can't say enough. I think they had to rev up and work overtime and really recreate themselves to be the voice and the face of Douglasville, to allow accessibility for us to come to you this way virtually, because we couldn't do anything in person anymore because of the pandemic. So Jason has just been, I don't have words. He and Aaron Sarowitz and the entire team. Aaron helps me write speeches a lot of the times, and all the articles I have to write, and he is kind of like in my head and helping me to do that, and I really appreciate that. So just thank you all so much. I wanted to come to you and tell you a personal story to let you know that I really appreciate you all, and know that it's been hard. It's been hard for my family as well. It's been 6 months with COVID going on, and back in April, the beginning of April, I had coronavirus. I had COVID-19 myself. And it all started because my husband had come home from work. They closed down his job because someone had COVID-19. And I was trying to get him to go and have the test done. And so he's like, oh no, I've been in the office. I have not been exposed, and I'm going to be such a team player. I'm like, I'll go with you and support you, honey. And so he and I got in the line at Hunter Park and went through the line and had the test done. It was very uncomfortable for those who've had that test. It feels like the Q-tip is going into the back of your brain or down your throat. And so I got a call back, and they said, your husband's fine, but you have COVID-19. I thought, me? What is going on? Because, I was asymptomatic. I'm one of those people that I didn't feel anything outside of the normal allergies that I feel every year during the change of season. And so I just could not believe it. I do have asthma, lifelong. And so, but I thought I was being very careful. But of course, it had been just a couple of weeks because it was the beginning of April, and we didn't know anything about COVID, and didn't shut down all operations until, right in March when we were told. So I was very nervous. I'll tell you, anyone who has gone through this story or this path understands my story and my testimony, and how scary it is. because you're worried about yourself. Of course, it's an unknown, mysterious virus. But then more so, you're worried about your family. So I did the contact tracing because, I'm on the public health board. I understand about how to do all of that. The blessing was I'd only been around 2 other people outside of my family. And so both of those folks were tested and they were negative. And so, I had to tell my kids, oof, and they were sent home from college. They all went and had a test done. No one was positive except for me. Whew, that was such a blessing. Whew. So all 3 kids and my husband, they were fine. The 2 people I was around at work were fine, but it was just me. So I said, okay, and you do what you're supposed to do. I went in the master bedroom that had the bathroom connected and stayed by myself for 3 weeks, not 2. I was just making sure. And so in that time, I'm calling on the telephone to my family. They're out there having fun, eating dinner, and I'm in a room by myself, boo-hooing, nervous, because then I started getting sick. I don't know if it was psychosomatic or if it really was, but I felt pretty bad. But I would call and say, let me know when everyone's out of the kitchen so that I can come in and get something to eat. Sprayed Lysol while I'm walking. It was a fume behind me like Pigpen, but it was just Lysol. And wiping down everything. Just really a time of uncertainty and being very, very fearful. So that's why I was so very passionate about the whole measures with COVID-19, because I had experienced it. So, of course, and it was time to come back for the council meetings. That was in April. We didn't come back to council until like May the 27th or something. And so I had 2 additional tests that were negative. And, I was nervous because I don't want to make anyone sick. So I appreciate coming on the other side. And that's why when I've had these conversations, I said we're going to get through it and come on the other side, because I was blessed enough to be able to do that. Was not hospitalized, but able to have those additional tests that said I was negative, and it, had taken its course and gone through my system. So I even had went to my doctor and had blood work done and all of that, for antibodies, just trying to do everything that I knew to do that they were telling us to do to stay safe and keep people safe with me. So it especially hits home because I experienced it. And so it's just been my number one goal to try to keep everyone safe in this city. And that's why I've been so forceful with asking you to wear a mask and wash your hands and all of that. And truly not knowing the residuals of what's going to happen after. I do know my voice has changed. I'm more raspy and hoarse. And for a singer, that is like the scariest thing, because I don't know if I'm going to be able to hit those notes that I used to hit that was effortless to do at one point in my life. But I am just happy and praise God that I'm able to stand and talk to you today. But I wanted to say thank you. That's what all this was really about. It's not about me and all the things that I have to deal with, but I wanted you to know as your mayor that I experience things too. And I understand when you're going through something. Our millage rate we just had, we kept the millage rate the same in the city, but because we had property values raised, we had to advertise as an increase. And it's a blessing to have the property's value raised in your community. But I appreciate that you all didn't storm City Hall because it was a 5% increase, that you were gracious enough to give us a pass, understanding that we are trying to be very conservative and very respectful of your tax dollars to continue to provide the services that you need, that you feel safe in your homes, that your trash is picked up, that your streets are resurfaced, that your parks are clean and beautiful, and that we can be here to do whatever we need to do to provide all the services that we are supposed to provide as a local government. So it's just been a blessing. I would ask you to please stay safe and healthy, you and your families. And I thank you again for your patience and your grace during this time. It's only together that we're going to get through this pandemic and continue to work together. It's been 6 months. I don't know how much longer it's going to last. I'm excited about a vaccine, and hopefully it'll come very soon, and we can get back to all those parades and festivals that we used to have and be able to come together as one community. So again, thank you for your patience. Thank you for your grace. Thank you, staff, employees, colleagues, and citizens, and my family. I appreciate my husband and my kids working with me to allow me to be your mayor. So God bless you all. You have a wonderful day. God bless the city of Douglasville, and thank you so much again for your time and for listening to me. I hope I haven't rambled on too much, but I did want to say thank you. I appreciate you. God bless you.